No,
with this shit.
not in the league of competitions that you're at. Obviously, you're headed to the Worlds this weekend. But in local competitions, is that a 2 elimination?
It depends on the competition.
Here's my problem. I'm going to get anxiety on the first match.
Yeah.
I go up against a blind guy, and I'm going to lose. My first match in a competition, I'm going to lose. I know that. It's the type of person I am.
But you can't look at it that way. Your first match, you're going to win because you're going to do the first match. That's winning.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
No, in the long run, you win. But what I'm saying is, even when I went to, as a kid, karate tournaments, you would always get 2 points on me. A motherfucker would always get 2 points on me. And then my Cubanism, my New Yorkism would come out, and I'd kick you in the stomach, and I'd win, or I'd get disqualified. I would lose my mind and kick above the... Because when I was in karate, it was just...
Belt to neck,
the belt to the neck. So you couldn't kick above the thing. I'd kick him in the head with a spinning back kick or something. But then that's the type... Like, you have to smack me once. When I played basketball, you have to put 8 points on me up. Okay, motherfucker, that's what I want to do? Let's rock. I'm one of those guys.
Right.
So the first competition I would do, it had to be double elimination. Because I'm just going in there the first time to hold on.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of places that are round robin. You're guaranteed 3 matches.
3 matches.
You know, there's one actually, NJBJJF, which is like New Jersey Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's right in, I think it's at CBA or like one of these local colleges. And that is like the perfect, this is my first competition. It's round robin. You're guaranteed 2 or 3 matches. It's generally a lot of people's first competition. The chances are you'll be going against somebody that's their first competition too. And you just get the experience.
And I could pull guard?
You could pull guard. You could pull guard.
Because I'm not going to be thrown.
I'm not the guy that's going to talk you out of pulling guard. I play guard. There's these people out here that say if you play guard, you don't get into Valhalla. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of those guys. You know, once my knees went and I couldn't shoot anymore, I'm a guard player.
So what are you doing this weekend? The Worlds?
I got Masters Worlds in Vegas.
Yep. And this is the biggest tournament for jiu-jitsu? Because I don't know.
This is the biggest gi tournament for Masters. So, I mean, the biggest tournament in jiu-jitsu is adult gi worlds. This is Masters gi worlds for everyone over 30. And then I have, in October, no gi pans, which I won last year. And then in December, no gi worlds, which I won last year. They didn't have Masters worlds or pans last year because of COVID in the gi. So I only got to compete in no gi. This year they had all of them, and I did second. I took second in gi pans in, I think it was April, and ended up breaking my ribs, like I told you, in 30 seconds left in the finals, and I couldn't finish the match. So that kind of got me. And the guy that I lost to is in my bracket in this one, so I hope I get him again. Get a little chance of redemption, you know?
It's pretty interesting that, 10 years ago, obviously, 15 years ago, before the jiu-jitsu revolution, it was basically for just athletes. You know, nobody who was non-athletic would walk in to a jiu-jitsu place. And now jiu-jitsu has grown so much that you see all shapes and sizes, and it fucking inspires the shit out of you.
And the coolest part is some of the very, very, very best guys, like Mikey Musumeci, for example, who, by the way, is extremely athletic. But I just mean, by looking at him, is not someone you would consider like, oh, this kid's a jock, this kid's a specimen, right. Look at him, you know what I mean? He's this big, and he's hands down one of the best ever to live in the sport. He's amazing.
But it's just so weird how I could go online now and look up jiu-jitsu for a 50-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
Jiu-jitsu for a 60-year-old. What are the benefits? It's all there. And I'm seeing it, like when I left L.A., there was one other old guy in my school, in the whole school. That was just, and I would try to go in to roll with him. He finally came to one day, he was like, we got to get each other's number because I'm defeating the purpose. I'm coming in here to fight these 20-year-olds, and they're just shutting me down, you know? And now they have so many things available for over 40. Like I just went to class Sunday, and they signed 2 other older guys. And I went up to them, gave them a hug, and said, just keep coming, don't get... there was a girl that joined that she was so big, she couldn't put jiu-jitsu pants on. I saw her Saturday. She's wearing gi pants.
Yeah, and wait a year from now.
Sunday,
Forget it.
And, it's like go at your own pace. You don't need to be scared no more. Nobody's going to choke you. None of those schools want that reputation.
No.
They don't want the reputation that if Mikey comes in, and he's been a guitar player all his life, and he comes in here, they're not going to break your fucking fingers. That's what... And look at all the people in entertainment that are doing jiu-jitsu. When you talk to Ricky Rocket from Poison, Like, I knew Ricky, like, from Eddie Bravo. Like, Eddie, there's Joey, this Ricky, how you doing? I never knew the guy. And then one day I went to an airport, and there he was. And we were both on the same flight. We got stuck for fucking 8 hours. So I started talking to him. We started talking to me, and I'm like, this guy's not even a rock star. You've seen what's his name from Tool when he's on Rogan. He don't even look like a fucking rock star. No. He loves jiu-jitsu more than fucking, he loves jiu-jitsu.
Make wine.
And this guy, I remember when I talked to Ricky, I go, Ricky, you excited about this tour? And he's like, I don't know. I can't do my privates. That's what he was concerned about. Not that he was going to make millions of dollars. Not that he's going to make millions of dollars.
It changes you.
It changes you. And there's days, like, I tell you what burns me up the most. There's days like I have a plan like you. You know what, I'm going to do this. I got to make these calls. I got to write this, submit it, and then I'm going to catch a quick 45-minute jiu-jitsu class. Like a couple weeks ago, I fucking had an appointment at DraftKings, like a conference call, and I fucking didn't go to class. And then they called me at like fucking 11 and said, we have to push the meeting back. Dog, I get more furious at that. Like, I couldn't go to
I missed jiu-jitsu because
you fucking pushed the meeting back, you motherfucker. Like, that fucking bothers me to death now. Like, so it's been completely different for me. And after I met you, I really started thinking about what I wanted to do, like how I wanted to do this. You know, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to go down to 250. I put some weight on last week on the fucking vacation. It was scary.
It's all right. It's cumulative. It's not week by week. It's what happens at the end of the year.
And listen, man, where I was and where I am, it's two different fucking stories. So, and now I want to, this is what I want to do. I'm happy I'm not doing comedy as much as I am anymore.
Well, you're not very funny. You know?
No, that was, not anymore. I really am not. It's so weird how I get my moments of being funny, but I'm not like, my mind isn't there anymore. I'm in New Jersey now. I got beautiful people around me. You know, it's like I still like going on stage, but I much rather go to jiu-jitsu class.
Oh, that's awesome.
3-4 days a week, you know. I'm getting to an age now, I'm 6 months away from being 60. And I saw Hollis today when I trained, and he goes, you really like it here? And I go, you know why? If I was in another school, like in L.A., I couldn't go there anymore. They would just kill me. You know, Barral and, you know, all those schools. Alberto Crane's got a great school. But here, I could go to this school till I'm 70. I could just tell. I could go there till I'm 70. Because there's a guy that's in his 60s that goes here twice a week. Cutest old man in the world. He doesn't run. He just does little slides for his warm-ups. We play sometimes, me and him.
Yeah.
I go, where the fuck you been? He goes, my wife won't let me out of the house. Dog, there was a 70-year-old guy there that got a stroke during class and came back 2 days later.
He's got the itch.
He was a Vietnam vet, a fucking military guy, and he joined there about a year ago. I haven't seen him because I think he moved. He moved to another school now. But he was fucking 70. He went in there one day. He got a stroke. He came back 2 days later. And they said, listen, man, we don't want you in class. Like, you don't understand.
I need this.
I need this shit. I got nothing.
That's what happens. You either come in and you get obsessed to where it consumes your life. You know what I mean? Like, people become drug addicts. It's the same fucking addiction. You know, it's just a more healthy addiction. You know, but people either come in and they get obsessed or they just fade out real quick. You know, there's really no middle ground. It's not like, oh, this is okay. I kind of have fun. I'll go once a week and see how it happens. You either go in and you're like, this is the coolest shit I've ever done, or you come in and you're like, this guy just sweat in my fucking eye and my mouth, right? And he had his balls in my face, and I don't think this is for me. You know, for me that sounds like a glorious day, right? Like,
Let me tell you something, man. You know, I don't understand how to say it. Listen, let's be honest with ourselves. July 16th, when I first got on stage for the first time, I had a 3-minute set. I'm not going to lie to anybody. In my mind, I thought I sucked. You know, the first time I got on stage, I'm like, ugh. But I did have something. I had a presence, you know. I had something going for me. Okay, we could build on it. You're not the funniest guy in the world, but we could build on this, okay? When I walked off the set that day, I remember looking at my wife at the time and going, I got to get rid of this chick. Like, right, the first time I got on stage. Like,
is
the
it first
time I got on stage.
Is it because she didn't laugh at your jokes?
It just, I wanted to be a fucking, I knew right then. It's the weirdest feeling that you do something one time.
Yeah.
I get you 15 fucking jobs. I get you a job tomorrow as a chef at the best restaurant. Let's go to Cousins, okay? I'll get you a job at Cousins, okay? After the first day, you're going to go, you know what? I don't know, Joey.
Not for me.
It's either for me. I like the food, I like cooking, but it's not for me. I got on stage and pretty much bombed the first time. I knew I had presence just by their faces, how I walked up. When I got off the stage, I knew that like my roofing career was fucking done. My salesman career was fucking done. And this chick I'm married to, who I love, she got to go. Because she's standing in my way of me doing what the fuck I want to do. Here's the difference with jiu-jitsu. First time I walked into jiu-jitsu, I got choked. I got thrown around. I had to run and pee outside, take my top off the first time somebody mounted me. I was still hooked.
Yeah, of course.
How can you be hooked on something that you don't even have an aptitude?
Because I think it's easy, especially when you're in a class with some talented athletes, I think it's easy to observe what's actually possible, right? Then you talk to some people and you're like, how long have you been training? Like, I've been training for a year. I've been training for 2 years. But those people all suck too, sometimes worse than you. So when you see what everyone else has done, they all started in the same place. And you're like, okay, I know it sounds tacky because this is what everyone says, but if I just keep showing up, eventually I'll be that good. And then eventually I'll be that good. And I'm going to keep getting better.
This is the fucking lesson of the day.
Yeah.
Keep showing the fuck up.
But
you're
guess
gonna
what?
suck.
That's applicable to anything.
Anything.
In life. Anything in life,
fucking thing.
Keep doing it.
And I think for me, going back to jiu-jitsu, it was the lesson I learned from stand-up comedy. Listen, and it's like anything else in life. I could tell you, Mike, guess what? I got a guitar and I know how to play cocaine. And you're like, okay. When you're in a band and somebody comes up to you and like, I learned how to play Tiptoe Through the Tulips. You're like, okay, keep going. Good for you. You know what I'm saying? It's like if I come to you, you're not going to believe it. Yeah. I joined jiu-jitsu. The first day I choked out a guy. You're like, okay, that's great. Let's see if it happens the second fucking day.
Let's see if you go back
for
a second
day. You got beginner's luck, Gambling. You ever gamble at a fucking casino?
You always win the first time.
You'll fucking win $8,000 until the next day and you lose $20,000. But with jiu-jitsu, I was hooked even though I sucked at it. Like I knew this is what I wanted to do. I don't care what I have to do. If the devil comes to me tomorrow and says, you want to be a black belt in jiu-jitsu and compete and be the best jiu-jitsu, I would do that before anything else. Like I would do that. I would sell my soul to just be able to hang out on the mats. But I won't sell my soul because I see guys that are brown belts and they do what we do effortlessly. I can't wait till you come to watch me do stand-up the first time.
I can't wait either.
You're going to go, bro, you just went up there and did this, and it looked like so easy. It's like when I watch Hollis Gracie roll. He don't do nothing.
Right.
He don't
it's second nature to him,
He just puts his hand, does something, and you're like...
Think of it this way for him. Like if you're taking a test, like a multiple choice test, and you just have every single answer before you even got the test, you already know what all the answers are. That's how he sees jiu-jitsu when he rolls. Like anything you're doing, he knows exactly what you're going to do. He knows what you're going to do to defend it, which we've talked about. You know what I mean? And when you already know what your opponent's going to do before they do it, you don't really have to work too hard, If I tell you, like, Joey, in 3 seconds, I'm going to punch you in the face, block it. You count to 3 and you fucking block it, right? That's how they see everything. As soon as they see you move your hips a certain way, open your guard a certain way, he knows exactly what you're going to do. It's just been doing it for his whole life. It's second nature. Just like comedy, second nature to you.
Second nature to me.
That's it.
So I finally got, I'm a black belt in comedy. I'm a black belt with a couple of those red stripes.
Yeah.
Like a coral belt.
Coral belt, there you go.
Because you get those every 3 years while you're a black belt.
You get your first 3 every 3 years and your second 2 every 5 years.
Wow.
Then you go to coral belt.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like a coral belt. I could go up there and just see the game. When people talk to me about their stand-up, like on Patreon, I don't have to watch their set. I know how long you been doing comedy. 2 years. I know where you're at. I pretty much know where you're at. You're just getting it together. You might be really good. In your mind, you think you're better. You think you're ready to hang out with Rogan and Chappelle, but you're really not. You're really not. You're going to go there and try it one time. I know you. We all will. And you're going to come back with not the result you want. And then you'll start to stay in your lane more. And we all do that with jiu-jitsu. I'm going to go over there and train with Renzo. Really? Wait till he throws you out the fucking window.
Yeah, there's levels. There's definitely levels to the game,
So your first match is Friday night.
I don't know what time on Friday yet.
We don't know yet.
My first match is Friday.
But the whole weekend will be on Flow Grappling.
The whole weekend on Flow Grappling.
So I want people at home to, if you have a Flow Grappling account, a lot of jiu-jitsu people watch this podcast. Support my man Rob Shaffer, and we'll be fucking cheering for you here.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
And when you come back with the title, without the title, you're still coming back here again to let us know about your
I'm
experiences.
looking forward to it, brother. Can't wait.
I also want to start doing some type of videos with you to help people, like, 40-year-old.
Bro, if you want to
jiu-jitsu.
video our lessons, you can video them. I think that'd be great because I love the fact that people of all aspects, all walks of life can do jiu-jitsu. And I think people that don't do it don't realize that. You know what I mean? There's a million people that are like, oh, you train jiu-jitsu, you're in great shape. I'm not in great shape, so I can never do that. You know what I mean? So I think it'd be great to bring more notice.
I was going to quit jiu-jitsu, but then I said, okay, I have a problem with my knee. I could tap the fuck out on a lot of things on this. But then I thought about one of the greatest fucking black belts we have in the world today, which is John Jock Machado. And John Jock has a disability with his hands. He can't really grab. So I thought about him, and he just has to work, I've never spoken to him about it, but I know, like, I've asked some of his students, and they go, he's brilliant, and he works his way around it. And that's what made me go back to jiu-jitsu. Yeah, I got one knee down, but I still got 3 motherfuckers.
And now you have a great half guard, right?
And I got a great half guard, and I can put my weight on you, the eyeballs pop out.
I can vouch for that. It's not fun.
Honest to God, I have a great time going. And let me tell you what the main reason about going to jiu-jitsu is, guys. To grow as a human being, you got to surround yourself with fucking champions, man. Honest to God. The only way to sharpen metal is metal. Metal sharpens fucking metal. And for me, comedy, I learned from a lot of great people, from Rogan, a lot of great people in my life. But with jiu-jitsu, man, you take a little piece from everybody in that class every day. Somebody gives you something. They're the most interesting people in the fucking world. Honest to God. And I'm a boring fuck, like, with people. These jiu-jitsu people, man, I go to my class, there's a Cuban kid, there's a Chinese kid, there's a black dude who was a wrestler with Chris Weidman. He was on the same team as Chris Weidman, so I fuck around with him because he's a white belt.
Right.
And he puts
he's a good
pressure.
wrestler.
Oh my God.
So he's not a white belt.
No, the shit he does. But do you have anywhere where they could follow you, what you do?
Just my Instagram is Rob Shaffer _BJJ. But the truth be told, I don't really, not one of these people that share all my workouts and stuff. I'm 41, so I kind of came from that like old school thing where
Me too.
I'm private. I'm private.
I don't want people to see me getting choked out. But if it helps you come to the school,
yeah, absolutely.
Because you're gonna live. You're gonna get choked out for 20 days, and then one day you're gonna figure out how to make it choked out anymore. And if you're 50 and 60 and you're just sitting there on the fucking couch, come on, guys, go to a class twice a fucking week. Twice a week will change your life. Just going to eating with different people, just talking about what people do with vitamins. It's mind-boggling.
And you'd just be surprised the friendships that you make, because unlike some other sports, I personally, and I'm not saying this from a biased point of view, but I think in jiu-jitsu there's a bigger camaraderie than any other sport I played. I played hockey. I wrestled my whole life. I've been in other sports, and I love sports. There's always a brotherhood in the locker rooms and shit. Nothing like jiu-jitsu. And now at this point, anything that I do in life, if I'm putting a new bathroom in my house, if I get arrested and I need a lawyer, I go to the room. There's lawyers, there's doctors, there's fucking plumbers, there's carpenters. I got everything you can ever ask for. So that's why everyone laughs, like, oh, how come you never come out anymore? To my older group of friends, which I still love very much. I just don't have anything in common anymore. All I want to do is talk about jiu-jitsu with people,
And they don't want to talk about jiu-jitsu.
If you don't know about ADCC in 2 weeks, we have nothing to talk about.
Nothing to fucking talk about. But Rob, I wish you all the luck this week.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man.